Hi, my name is Natasha. I am co-host of Moms Interrupted podcast, and I am a CLC, certified lactation consultant, and an IBCLC candidate, a mom of two, a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. Over 90% of US parents use bottles. So people are researching, what bottle should I buy for my baby? Should I buy a bottle box that has a bunch of different bottles to try? I'm not gonna talk about brands because, in my honest opinion, I think it's all BS. The predatory marketing around bottles is just as bad as any other aspect of the baby gear world. You will see most breast-like reduces colic, claims about tummy troubles and not letting air in and new technology, best for breastfed babies. The reality of it is there's no rules around this marketing. So they can say whatever they want. I see a lot of money going into claims about why they're better than other brands, but talk is cheap. My goal today is just to tell you what actually matters in bottles and cut through the rest of the noise. So any bottle that you get, the nipple needs to pass the triangle test. So when you go like this around the nipple, there should not be spaces around it. It should fill the triangle. We don't want any of those really long nipples where the baby doesn't have to open up. We want baby to get a nice wide latch. And that doesn't necessarily mean we are having one of these wide neck bottles. Sometimes that creates a more shallow latch because the baby just latches onto that nipple. And if you're not breastfeeding, you're like, well, who cares, right? I'm not hurting my breast. But, it's better for babies' development. And the next thing I want to talk about is flow. Babies latch onto the breast and no milk is coming out. They have to stimulate a letdown. A common issue that we see is issues going back and forth between breast and bottle because baby latches onto the bottle and they are immediately getting feedback, right? They're sucking and getting milk. That doesn't happen at the breast. It might take 30 seconds to trigger a letdown. So baby has to work. We want baby to be on a slow flow nipple, the slowest flow that they'll tolerate, so that they learn to use those muscles and coordinate their suck skills. This helps baby go back and forth between breast and bottle more easily because they're not expecting this big gush without any effort. They are expected to work a little bit for the milk, just as they have to at the breast. Whatever bottle you choose, it matters just as much the technique you're using. So back when I was a baby, the idea was you hold the baby in the crook of your elbow and then you pour the bottle down their throat. We're no longer doing that. We are using paced bottle feeding. We want the bottle to be parallel with the floor. So that might mean that nipple is not totally full of milk at all times. It might be half full. And if you have a grandma in your life, they might be freaking out that you are letting air in, but you're not, because the bottle nipples have a vent that allow air to escape. It's better for baby to be in control of what they're taking in versus milk being poured down their throat. Another thing to point out is many bottles are just sold with a standard nipple. So you have to make sure that you're checking the flow type. When we're starting little tiny babies, we want them on preemie flow or the slowest flow that your bottle brand makes. Okay, so to wrap it up, I care about paced bottle feeding. That's the modality of how you bottle feed your baby. I care about the flow of the nipple. I care about the triangle test on the nipple. And I care that when you buy your bottles, you make sure you are switching out the nipple with the slowest flow option. Last thing is sometimes it can be trial and error. I personally believe that, like a lot of things in babies, it's temperament. I implemented a bottle, no problem. Breast, bottle, back and forth. He didn't care. Give me some milk. My second, I introduced a bottle at 3 weeks once breastfeeding was established. Never took a bottle in her entire life. I would hold the bottle in front of her face and she would start wailing. So I will say that there is trial and error. Those are the things that matter from a CLC and IBCLC candidate and mom of two. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments.